Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our home renovation journey. In today's update, we will be covering our carpentry discussion, the start of our false ceiling works, a few issues we have encountered along the way, as well as our zip line and curtain measurements, plus a look at some of the materials we have selected. As you can see, some false ceiling work is already underway while we are having our carpentry discussion with our ID. In this update, we will walk you through the rough plans for each area and explain the reasoning behind our layout choices. Starting with the front section of our living room, the recessed wall will be flushed out with a partition, which will be reinforced with wood to support our wall-mounted TV. Similarly, the ceiling area where the fan will be installed is also reinforced for added stability. There isn't much to note for the back portion of the living room. We are intentionally keeping it open and flexible so that it can be repurposed in the future if needed. As for the dining area, the only reinforcement planned is for the spot above our island, where the pendant light will be installed. Moving on, here's the setup for our TV console, TV and speakers. We are planning a 1.8 meter long floating console with 3 flip down doors. Each panel will be separated by a partial divider that only extends halfway into the depth of the console. Behind these dividers, the back portion will run the full 1.8 meters with small openings on both ends to allow for seamless cable connections between the TV and speakers. Next, we have our island or peninsula as some would call it. There will be 2 doors below the sink area and another 3 doors beside it along the recessed sitting area. The width of our island is large enough for the cabinets to open from both sides, and there will be a middle plank or backing separating the 2 opposite sides. This is also needed to support the island. However, for the 1 door cabinet section at the opposite end of the sink, we have requested not to have a middle plank, meaning the cabinet will open up all the way through to the other side. This is to future-proof and allow us to store any larger appliances. We have also made a special request to include an air vent at the bottom of the door panels beneath the sink. This helps improve airflow in the typically damp area, reducing the chances of any musky odor building up over time. In the main section of the kitchen, there is a pipe that protrudes out, something not commonly seen in typical kitchen layouts. This would have resulted in an awkward-looking cabinet with a noticeable bump. To address this, our ID suggested extending the entire upper portion of the cabinet outwards to align with the pipe, while keeping the bottom section slightly recessed. This approach helps create a more seamless and visually cohesive look. We have decided to turn one of the cabinets beside the service yard window into a dedicated space for our laundry basket. It will function like a standard casement door, but with a small rectangular cutout at the top that can be flipped open, making it easy to drop clothes in without having to open the entire cabinet. We initially considered using a pull-out drawer, but due to space constraints when placing or removing the laundry basket, it would have required a smaller basket, which wasn't ideal. Our coffee bar area features a straightforward design without elaborate carpentry. Just a simple request for curved edges to reduce the risk of bumping into sharp corners, and a shelf above with an LED light strip running across to provide ambient lighting. The setup will include a solid sink support for our 68 cm long kitchen sink, 2 casement doors, and a set of 3 drawers to store coffee beans, tea packets, and possibly some snacks. The study room will not feature any built-in carpentry, just a simple box up to conceal the aircon trunking for a cleaner look. We did consider adding more built-in storage, but ultimately decided against it, as we feel that having too much storage space might encourage us to hoard unnecessarily, simply because the space is available. Moving on to the master bedroom, we will be installing a built-in wardrobe along with a compact dressing table. We have specifically requested for an open niche at the side of the wardrobe for hanging worn clothes. Below the niche, there will be 2 secured drawers, while the adjacent section will feature additional drawers for folded clothes and a top compartment for items that are used less frequently. On the opposite side, the wardrobe will be divided into 3 sections, all designated for hanging rods to maximize vertical storage. Next to it, the dressing table will be built to double as a bedside table. Above it, a mirror with hidden storage will be installed to keep makeup and skincare products neatly organized. Another tip for the dressing table storage is to measure your makeup and skincare products in advance and share the dimensions with your ID. This allows the internal height to be customized to fit your items perfectly. Here's an update of the false ceiling works currently in progress. You can see how the wood reinforcement has been done up to support our island pendant light, which is around 1.6 meter long. We have also completed the aircon trunking layout to accommodate both the System 4 and System 1 compressors. The System 4 compressor will support two 9K BTU units and one 12K BTU unit, while the System 1 compressor will be dedicated to a single 24K BTU unit. We decided to run the aircon trunking through the study room since we are not installing any built-in wardrobe, and also for aesthetic reasons. However, if you are planning to have built-in carpentry in this space, you might want to consider running the trunking outside instead. Otherwise, if any leaks occurs in the future and the trunking needs to be replaced, you may have to dismantle the upper section of the wardrobe to access the piping, something worth considering during the planning stage. Here's how the completed false ceiling looks like before painting. The aircon and curtain pelmets has been installed, though there's more to share about the aircon pelmet in the later video. The ID added a box up below this beam to avoid an uneven appearance, where one section would otherwise look lower than the other. Be sure to pay close attention to the aircon pelmet and the pipe layout provided by the aircon installer. This is something we wish we had known earlier, especially if you are planning to install a false ceiling and a 24K BTU unit like we did. We will be sharing more details about this in our upcoming videos. We noticed that the lighting points are now hidden within the false ceiling, and wasn't sure if this was normal. Our ID clarified that this is correct. The electrician will pull the wires out when they install the lights later. Only the ceiling fan and island pendant light points have wires hanging down, indicating that those areas have been reinforced with wooden support. The original HDB aircon pipe opening has also been patched up and the area retoweled for a clean finish. Our ID also installed acrylic panels in the two toilet box ups at no additional cost. However, we were quite shocked by how glossy and white they look. We have since requested for them to be replaced with frosted panels instead. Another issue we have noticed was the Cat6 cable hanging down from the box up along the beam lacked any protective seal around the edges. This could lead to wear and tear on the cable over time, so it's something we will need to address. The TV partition wall has also been installed and the surface is now flush. But do you notice anything unusual with the electrical wiring? The electrical point on the left is currently exposed, but since our TV console isn't long enough to cover that area, it should have been made a concealed point from the start. We have asked our ID to have the electrician fix this. This is how it looks from the side. You can see how obvious the mistake is. which makes us wonder why our ID didn't catch it. Since the partition wall was recently added, the tilers have also installed the skirting along this area. Here's a sneak peek of how the tiles look. Next, the zip blind and curtain vendor visited the site to take measurements. We also chose our preferred curtain track placement and decided on which direction we want the curtains to open. The consultant was relatively professional and helpful, offering advice on the curtain track placement and guiding us towards the most optimal option to ensure everything flows seamlessly. After that, we went down to their showroom to select our curtain fabrics, zip line frame, and fabric colors. For the living room, we opted for a more translucent day curtain as we wanted something that will still allow some light to shine in while blocking out the silhouette of the window frame. For both bedrooms, we decided to go with the full blackout curtains in a subtle silver tone to maintain a clean and simple look. For the zip blind fabric, we have selected a dark grey shade with a matching black frame to minimize weather-related discoloration. Alright, that's all for today. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Bye!